via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, sex act and spread of energy all over. Before that, let me mention to you, a master is a physician. He is interested in the well-being and the health of the seekers. He is not a medical trader. He is not interested in keeping the patients as the doctors do for trading, to keep them as customers, not as patients. I have heard about 5,000 years ago in China, the responsibility of the healer was to cure the person. And if he has cured a patient, then the patient has to give the healer, the doctor, the money. And if doctor is not able to keep them healthy, the doctor has to pay the money to the patient. There are two layers of sex energy. One is visible to you, the other is not visible to you. The other, which is not visible to you, is ojas, or it can be understood by a magnet. A magnet is piece of iron. To common eye, it appears to be a piece, a rectangular, three-dimensional, which has a height, width, and length, piece of iron. From the naked eye, you cannot see its magnetic power. It can only be seen if something which can be affected by the magnetic power. If you put a piece of wood or a piece of plastic around it, it will not be affected. Only a metal can be attracted towards the magnet, not because it is a piece of iron which is its physicality, but its effect that is known as magnetic power. The same way sex has two layers. One layer that you know, during the sex act, a fluid is released. This fluid goes towards its opposite, ovum, interacts with that, a life begins. But along with that, the effect of this energy, the psychic effect of this energy also reaches. The physical energy comes at a certain time, vanishes at a certain time, but the psychic aspect can still remain. This is a totally different topic which I had just finished before coming to this session, the layers of sexual energy, which is the part of the upcoming work, the next one, Light Onto Yourself. These chapters will also form the part, along with others, as we take the next project, which is still not sure which title to use. Sex Dimensions Beyond the Known, or Transcending Sex, Transcendence of Sex. So the light onto yourself and transcend, it has many similarities, many things which are common when you want to be a light onto yourself and when you transcend beyond the sex, the physicality of it, the physical aspect of it that you know. So this sutra, particular sutra says, when in such embrace, your senses are shaken like leaves. When the breeze blows, and it surges through the tree leaves, the leaves begin to shake. So enter this shaking, but the mind is always afraid of this shaking. When in such an embrace, in a deep communion with the beloved or the lover, your senses, all the senses, there are 5 basic senses and mind is considered as this 6th sense, begin to shake as leaves. Leaves have no control when the breeze surges through them. Enter this shaking, but we are afraid of it because while making love, you do not allow the bodies to move much. Because if your bodies are allowed much movement, the sex act will spread over the entire body, and that you may not be able to control. You can control it when the act is localized. However, when it is spread over the entire body, it becomes beyond your control. You may start shaking, you may start screaming, and you may not be able to control your body once the entire body takes over the effect of it. So what we do, we suppress the movements. But the sutra where Shiva mentions it to Devi, during that act, your senses, when your senses start shaking like leaves, enter that shaking, you become the shaking. You do not control it, allow it to happen, and when allow it to happen, all the leaves of the tree begin to shake and create a different rhythm, different beauty. Particularly all over the world, we suppress such movements. All shaking for women is avoided. They remain like dead bodies. They are doing something to them. You are doing something to them. They are not doing anything to you. They remain like passive partners. Why is this happening? Why all over the world men suppress women in such a way and do not allow them this shaking? There is a fear. Once a woman's body becomes possessed by that act, it is difficult for man to satisfy her, because the women can have chain of orgasms, whereas in case of man it is different. A man cannot have multiple orgasms. He can have only one. So because of male chauvinism, he does not allow this woman to happen. There are cases of multiple orgasms reported. A woman can have at least 3 orgasms in a chain, but man can have only 1. This is the whole anatomy and physiology of the sex act. And with man's orgasm, when it happens to the man, the woman is aroused. And now she is ready for the further orgasms. Then it becomes difficult for man then how to manage it. This is the whole ethics behind it. What if I have to put it in a simple words? She will need another sex act at the same time instantaneously, but man is not capable of that. So that means she needs another one to have the orgasms. But the group sex is always considered as taboo in almost all the cultures. So it comes a great responsibility on man to understand his sexuality, his total sex energy, how does it function, and how it should be allowed to move. Only then there can be a possibility for a balanced, a harmonious sex relationship, a healthy one. Otherwise, it always remains chaos, not cosmos. A sex relationship should lead an individual, the two partners, from the state of chaos to cosmos, the total fulfillment. All over the world we have created monogamous societies. We seem to feel that it is better to suppress the woman and not allow the shaking to spread over the entire body. So really 80 to 90% of women never know what orgasms is. Very rarely it may happen. They can give birth to children. That is another matter. It has nothing to do with orgasm. It has nothing to do with fulfillment. And she considers it her destiny to bear the children, to satisfy the needs of her lover, and what is about her fulfillment. We do not consider that. We do not give a consideration to this. We only think providing a safe family life, a comfortable with enough money and all this is all a woman needs. But in reality she does not. All these things are secondary and meaningless to her. The most important thing for her in life is her fulfillment. If she does not get it, it creates a problem in life. The house will not be a temple. She will not be a temple. She will not be a symbol of harmony and oneness. This is what is important. The woman can give birth to children, They can satisfy man, that is another thing, but they themselves remain unsatiated, unfulfilled. So if you see such bitterness in women all over the world, sadness, after making the sex act, man turns the other side, there has been a release and he falls asleep, while the woman hides her displeasure, hides her tears, sobs within, and remains awake for a little while, sometimes for long. It is natural and it happens. Sadness, bitterness, frustration is all natural because their basic need is not fulfilled. I come across many examples, many situations like this when seekers all over the world mention such things to me. There was an incident on the Facebook. Once I got a message from a person that during the sleep she gets taken over by the spirits and her body is scratched, there are bruises and marks, and these spirits enter into sex act with the person. So as far as the outer body is concerned, which can be exposed, she showed the bruises, the marks, says that this is what happens when I sleep, so because of that I remain restless. So you listen to the person, I listened to her, saw the bruises, inquired a few things about her life. The same dissatisfaction comes in. Now she is gaining sympathy. So I ask her, these people who you say they are spirits and make love to you, and you say they are very violent. So when they are making love to you, they bruise your body. So they must be bruising the internal body also, internal part of the body, which remains hidden. He said, yes, it happens. So I said, it is very important, just as you shown me the bruises on the face and here and there, I need to see the bruises, what kind of bruises are there on the inner body, so that I can assess what kind of treatment, psychological or otherwise, has to be given to you. It was a shock to her, was never expected, and I knew it very well. It is out of sympathy she is doing that. She wants to gain the sympathy. She is looking for something, more fulfillment. So she is creating a situation. So I insisted, I said, I need to see those private parts which you see during the act. These spirits are very violent and they enter into the act very violently. Violently means very aggressive, whatever be the method. Let us just put it as violent, aggressive. Aggressive is a better word. She said, okay, I'll show you. So next time when again she showed, I said, I need to see that. before I could find a treatment for you. Then the sessions keep on happening. So she said, in reality, there is nothing like that. I am sexually unfulfilled. So to gain sympathy, I do the bruises. And I never expected you will ask me to show you the inner parts, the hidden parts. I never expected anyone will ask that, but you did it. So I must tell you what is the truth behind it. In order to gain the sympathy of my husband that I may get the fulfillment, I had to create this scene. I said, now the treatment can begin. So then sessions went on to explain her what and how one should enter into, which many people hesitate because they are not free, transcended their own needs. If you are hungry, so what you will do, you will not be able to satisfy the hunger of others. If you are not finished, then how can you help the others? So this was just out of the way. When you were born, the two sex cells, what are those? The ovum and sperm met together and created a body. Your body was created. Those two cells are everywhere in your body, spread over your entire body. Your body is composed of the combination of the two cells. They have multiplied and multiplied to the extent that they are spread now over your entire body. But your basic unit remains the sex cell. When you shake all over your body, it is not only a meeting of you and your beloved. Within the body, all the cells which are formed through interaction of ovum and sperm is meeting their opposites. That is why it is anima and animus, yin and yang, according to Taoist, and Shiva and Shakti, the two aspects, the energy and the field where the energy will work. Masculine energy, where will it work? If it is allowed to overflow just so, will it create a new body? In order to create a new body, it must operate, must act within the field of the energy. So then the female genitals are necessary. This is the symbolic of the Shiva symbol of Shivlingam. People consider it erroneously out of ignorance that it is phallic symbol. You look at the nuclear reactors, how they are created. They are all dome shaped, the same shape as that of Shivlingam, and the field, and it is so much full of energy. And you remember, your face is visible, but your energy is not visible. Energy is the inner realm. Magnet, the iron piece of iron, the bar magnet is visible, but magnetic field is not seen. So Shiva Lingam is symbolic of the energy of creation. And the energy of creation is light. So it is symbol of light, energy of creation. If you look at it that way, nuclear energy, it can be destructive, it can be creative, and it can create the benefits for the humanity if it is used properly. If this sex energy, the other aspect, not the physical aspect of it that you know as, which is manifested through semen, it's the magnetic effect, then it can create you, it can create a harmony within you, within your relationship. And when there is a harmony within you and you spread this harmony outside, and your spouse also has harmony within, and the two harmonies merge into one another, it creates a wonderful place, wonderful opportunity for everyone to grow and evolve. The body has all these cells that has merged into during the act of copulation. The ovum and sperm have multiplied, have grown to infinite numbers, and they are spread all over the body. So it is quite natural during the act of sex, these cells get activated and they begin to shake. When you shake all over the body, it is not a meeting of you and your beloved. Within your body also, the cells are meeting their opposites. The yin is merging in. There is a yin and yang energy. This is merging with one another. There is yin and yang between your spouse that is also merging. So multiple things are happening. The shaking shows it will look like animal-like, but man is an animal and there is nothing wrong in it. Nothing wrong in it that you have to remain a soft gentleman. During that act, you have to act in that manner. The second sutra says, therefore, when in such an embrace, your senses are shaken as leaves, as if a great wind is blowing, and an entire tree begins to shake. Even the roots are shaking. Every leaf is shaking. Just be like a tree. When the breeze surges through it, a great wind is blowing, and the wind is nothing else but sex energy. It is a great wind, great energy blowing through you, blowing towards you. Shake, vibrate, allow every cell of your body to dance, to participate in this dance of eternity, dance of eternal, and this should be for both. The beloved is also dancing. Every cell is vibrating. Only then there can be really a meeting between the two. And that meeting, Taoists call it as the meeting of heaven and earth. Heaven and earth, or Shiva and Shakti, are merging into one another. Then that meeting is not mental. It is the meeting of the two bioenergies. Enter this shaking, and while shaking, do not remain aloof. Do not be a spectator, because mind is only a spectator. Do not stand aloof. Become the shaking. Forget everything and become the shaking. It is not that your body is shaking, it is you, your whole being. You become the shaking itself. And when Shiva talks these 112 techniques, they are actually the techniques of meditation. Each act that you perform on a day-to-day basis, walking, taking a shower, changing your clothes, having sex, eating food, everything can become meditation. So this treatise, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, is really a treatise to allow your entire life to become a meditation. Everything, your gestures, how you speak, how you create the gaps between the two words as you flow, it can create an energy. It can create a vibration. It can create a magnetic energy field that overflows from you towards the other one who is listening to it. This is the meditation or flow of the energy or tawajjuh, as Sufis call, through the words. Words are created in such a sequence. They are mathematical equations like mantras, like the ayats of Quran Sharif, and they carry with them within their womb the entire energy field. Provided you know how to intone it correctly, how to recite them correctly, what will happen? In this way, you will not remain a rectangle or a triangle when the merger happens for a moment, a fraction of a moment. Instead, you will become a circle. One, you will be the part of the existential force, not a societal mind, the mind of the society. Instead, you will become an existential force. You will be the part of the entire cosmos. In that shaking, you will be the part of the whole cosmos. You have to begin. You have to experiment. And there should not be any hesitation if any problem comes in. You can mention it to me and I will find a solution for it. Give you more deeper insights. This is just beginning. I'm just giving you the insights. In general, the movement, that movement is of a great creation. You are dissolved as solid bodies into one another. The spouse dissolves into the beloved, beloved dissolves into the spouse. You have become fluid-like, flowing into each other. The mind is no more. The division is lost. You are oneness. And in that, when the two poles are in harmony with one another, that creates a magnetic field. And the magnetic charge flows from North Pole to the South Pole. And within that magnetic field, whatsoever comes is affected by it. The same is the situation of the gravitational force. When a spaceship reaches 200 miles above the Earth's atmosphere, the gravitational force of the Earth has less effect on it. Then, if the astronauts do not keep their seatbelts tied, they will float like a balloon that goes up. So at that time, when you are crossing the gravitational force of the earth to enter into another gravitational force, you need tremendous energy. The spacecraft needs tremendous energy. That's the time there comes an explosion. When one part of the spacecraft is separated from the original and the other part becomes active. It is like you are driving and there is a gear called overdrive. So when you are normally driving, you are using the normal drive gear, but when you are going on a highway, you change the gear to overdrive. So you are moving from the normal drive gear in sex drive gear into overdrive gear. This is non-duality. If you cannot feel this non-duality, then all philosophies of non-duality are useless. They are simply words for you. Whatsoever I am speaking may remain just words. Someone say this man has nothing to do but talk about sex and sex alone. But in reality, that is the problem of everyone. No one has the courage to mention it. Once you know the non-dual existential moments, then you can understand the scriptures, you can understand the mysteries, what they are talking about. Then you can understand what I am overflowing, what I am speaking to you about, the cosmic oneness or wholeness. Then you are not separate from the world, not alien. Then existence becomes your home, and with that feeling that now I am at home with the existence, all worries are vanished. There is harmony, there is oneness, there is explosion of ecstasy, there is no anguish, no struggle, no chaos. All there is cosmos. This is the journey from chaos to cosmos for everyone. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.